Are so fucking weird, bro. Somebody posted a comment how Prince Andrew should be charged criminally and the crown is not doing enough. I responded, look, all evidence suggests Prince Andrew didn't commit a crime. Virginia Giuffre was 17. She was consenting to this. As far as he knew, she was a paid escort. This guy is rich. He's a prince. Everything around him is paid for. He's never known lack. If a very wealthy friend has an obviously gung-ho 17-year-old girl who's legal age willing to entertain him, his first thought is going to be, oh, she's getting paid $200,000. She's going to go to college. She's choosing to do this. Because why would he think it? Why would his first thought be he likes raping and torturing little kids and this girl is trapped, given she's showing no signs of that? There's literally no data he did a crime. Let me liken it to this. If I go to a swap meet and buy a stereo, and I'm under the impression this is your stereo, you're selling it, but in reality, you're running a ring where you're stealing stereos from people, I'm not guilty of a crime. I'm embroiled in criminal activity against my knowledge. And in a similar way, a super rich dude, a prince, where there's no sign at all that he knew anything weird was going on, because she's acting normal, he's acting normal, they're surrounded by wealth. The first thing he's going to think is, oh, there are millions of girls in the world who'd be willing to entertain and have sex with me. I'm not even ugly. I'm known as a playboy, and I'm a super rich, powerful man. There are millions of girls who would be willing to be paid to entertain me. Some of them would do it for free, hoping that I'd marry them or something. That's going to be his first thought. And everything that happened suggests that's what he thought. He didn't abuse her. He didn't do anything dehumanizing to her. He had a consensual encounter where he was respectful. And that's what she writes. Because she's so traumatized, she didn't like it. And because she's so traumatized and has been abused by Epstein and shit, it was traumatizing to her. But it was not anything he did that did it. It's like if I have PTSD and I hear a snap, I'm going to jump. But in reality, it's just a benign snap. And that's kind of like a sexual trauma victim. Even though he was respectful, he presumed she was doing this of her own volition for money, for college, for connections. And he treated her accordingly, like a human being who was choosing to do this. She was traumatized by it. Does that make sense? It's not his fault she was traumatized. She's traumatized because she's a rape victim since she's a little kid, and Epstein has been abusing her. The reason the elites made the Epstein plot is because there's a lot of rich men and princes who just assume a rich friend of theirs is paying lots of girls who want to entertain them. And it's completely consensual, and they're getting benefits from it. They're getting wealth, they're getting connections. They might meet a rich guy they can marry. There are girls all over the world who do that for free. And so naturally, their first thought's going to be, they're totally gung ho with this. Their first thought is not going to be, my friend is a weird Satanist who worships Satan and is tying these girls up in basements and shocking them with cattle prods and shit. That's not going to be their first thought. There's no sign that's going on. And there is lots of signs. These people are rich as shit. I'm rich as shit. I damn well know, especially since I'm not ugly. I'm known as a playboy. I'm a handsome prince. I could go to like any bar and I assure you some girl is going to want to be with me. Especially if my friend's rich and he can pay and stuff, and they're totally down with it. They're having a good time too. The reason they made this plot is because that's the first thing a rich guy's going to think. And there's a lot more rich guys who are willing to have consensual sex with a girl in her late teens than there are guys who enjoy putting a girl in a basement, shocking with cattle prods while screaming, all hail Satan, and they're crying and shit. There's a lot more guys like that. And so they made the Epstein plot, and count on this, the same people who made Epstein are the ones who let you know about Epstein. They started talking about Epstein as soon as Trump got in office, because the system wants to hold it over his head. Never forget, we could destroy you with this. So the same people who made Epstein are the ones telling you about Epstein, but they're only telling you what you need to know. What you need to know is the girls were abused, they were enslaved, and You don't know which ones knew that or not. You don't know which ones were entrapped in the trap and which ones liked the trap. So, by association, every single guy involved in this is now a sex predator, even if they're not. In the same way, if you're running a stereo jacking ring and I go and buy your stereo thinking it's yours or you paid for it, I'm now embroiled in a crime ring throughout my without my knowledge. Try to explain this to people like not every guy in Epstein's a sex predator. Some of them are just scumbags who are willing to sleep with late teens. Like it's a scumbag on order, a rich dude who gets an 18-year-old wife, where it's like, not even calm with her. You just shit. But it's not a crime and it's not predatory necessarily. It's like you're just a scumbag. Like that's like a lot of guys in this are more like that. And they didn't do anything violent and they didn't know. And that's why they made the plot. And they told you just as much as you need to know. So this way they can hold over every guy's head. You're gonna go down and be associated with the real creeps. Even though you were kind of a victim of it. Like, I didn't know. I mean, I'm rich as shit. I'm a playboy. Girls would be with me for free. I assumed, given Epstein's kind of ugly and shit, you were paid and you were down with it. There was no sign. You didn't cry. You didn't say no. I was respectful. You were respectful. I just assumed it was just something you wanted to do for money. I mean, Epstein's hideous, so I assumed he was paying you and shit. I don't have to pay. But for real, that's why they made it. Because there's a lot more guys like that than there are like, I'm going to shock you with the cattle prod again until you stop saying you're a human. There are guys like that. They're real degenerates and they're Satanists and shit. And they attack me. But most guys are not that. They'd be like, I'm not into that. I'm a Prince Andrew. I could go to a bar and find a chick. I don't need to be shocking people. I don't like it. I'm not into slavery. It's creepy. For some reason, when I mention this obvious truth, the same people who made Epstein are the ones telling you about Epstein. The whole function of the plot was to associate every dude by associating with the real degenerates are. Even if they were just like, oh shit, I just assumed you was paid and you were down with this. I mean, there's lots of girls all over the world who do this. The reason Epstein tortured his people and did these seedy things, and the same people who did that are telling you that happened, is because a lot of rich dudes who are princes will assume you're paid, you're down with it. They don't know they're doing these things. They don't know you're traumatized because you've been groomed into slavery that they could then hold over this person's head and keep them in line, right? For some reason, this person saying, "Are you okay with human traps?" Like, of course not. But what you're saying is it's preposterous that every single dude in this is a psychopath. Is as preposterous as saying everyone who buys a stereo knows that a criminal ring stole it from someone. Like, obviously they don't, right? Especially someone like Prince Andrew, where he was handsome, a prince, rich as shit. He has no reason, and he doesn't have a kink for this. It's evident he doesn't have a kink for this. When Virginia describes her experiences with him, he was clearly not into non-consent weird shit. You know, like he would like kiss her feet and like serve her. Like he was into that, like a normal dude, right? There's really no reason to think he was complicit with doing this. More like, oh, I was one of the guys trapped. Where now they're gonna turn around and say, if you don't do what we want, we're gonna tell everyone you're just like Ehud Barak and Epstein. You enjoy harming kids and raping them. These hideous, disgusting trolls no one would ever touch. Now he's there like the Playboy Prince. He could easily get girls, and he doesn't have a kink for that. There's no evidence of it. He's like, oh fuck. That's why they made him the face of it, bro. Because the real people who did it are all protected. Yep. I bet you they let Epstein escape and he got plastic surgery and shit. I bet you. The real trolls, the disgusting slobs, physically and morally and emotionally, like Ehud Barak, They're all protected, bro. This dude has a snuff fetish. Even though he knew Virginia was a slave, so couldn't refuse, he literally went out of his way to simulate violent rape and near murder because he's into that. And he was the one who made this plot with Epstein and the CIA and shit. But that's why the same people made Epstein are telling you just what you need to know, which is some of this was going on and some of them knew. So this way, all the huge net of guys who didn't know, and as far as they knew, this is a girl paid, just like they pay for everything. I'm a prince. I get everything I want. I'm a playboy. The ones who didn't know were now associated with this shit. And like they talk about Prince Andrew because he didn't do a crime. This is how it works. The worst ones stay in the shadows. The ones who like rape, who like torture, who like slavery, they get protected. And the ones who are just Fredo-like celebrities, the Playboy Prince, they're the ones who can go down as the face of it. Charge him for what? What crime did he do? As far as he knew, this was a girl getting her college paid, down for it, excited to sleep with an attractive prince. As far as he knew. I mean, Virginia was traumatized because she was abused since she was a child. But making him accountable for her trauma, where she can't say no, she can't show any signs of non-consent, she's enthusiastic about it, while the whole time inside she's traumatized, would be like making somebody on the street accountable for making a really loud noise for somebody who has war PTSD. They're not trying to cause harm. They don't know they're causing harm to that person. Does that make sense? She says nothing about it. And the fact she's comfortable to name him is because she knows he's safe to name. She didn't name Ehud Barak in name. She left clues and literally wrote, they're going to kill me. And guess what? They killed the real criminals. From this, you get, I like human trafficking and I'm okay with it. No, I'm just saying the function of the plot was to accuse, by association, every rich dude. When a lot of these dudes are not criminals. A lot of these dudes, if they knew, wouldn't be part of it. A lot of these dudes are the equivalent of someone going to a swap meet, buying a stereo, and they have no idea that stereo was stolen, right? A lot of these dudes are the equivalent of some guy who gets with any girl and he doesn't know I'm doing this from trauma. I'm doing this because I'm traumatized. Even though I'm seeking you out, my own trauma is making me. There are a lot of trauma victims who will go have casual sex, and while it's happening, they're fighting both doing it and being traumatized. Go read stories. This happens. Saying like those guys are also predators is like, how would he know? All he knows is you want to do this, and he wants to do it too. You know, like all I'm saying is this: it's kind of fucking weird that they tell you only that this happened, but they don't tell you who really did it. And the ones who show the least signs of any criminality, like Prince Andrew, are the ones who become the face of criminality. There's really nothing to charge Prince Andrew with. He's not a rapist. There's no evidence he was involved in the trafficking. So why are people accusing him that he needs to be criminally charged and not obvious rapists like Ehud Barak and Donald Trump, who there's evidence Donald Trump was procuring girls to traffic, meaning he knew what was going on and he was involved in it. It's kind of weird, huh? That these government Satanist trash, who literally are criminals, are rapists, did the network. That no one says we should charge them, but some dude who was just like, I didn't know, I'm Prince Andrew. I could go into any bar and some chick would leave with me. I was at my rich friend's house and this beautiful girl was there. And she's smiling and hitting on me, and it's not the first time. I'm the Playboy fucking prince, like, and then we had sex, and there's no evidence I'm into some weird shit. I kissed her feet. Like, why are we saying to charge this dude and not those dudes? Because I'll tell you why, the same people who made Epstein to taint by association every dude as a freak like them are the freaks telling you about Epstein, and they're the ones in power who are protected. Ask yourself why you're so obsessed with Prince Andrew. All evidence suggests he's just some myopic, rich Playboy prince who has literally no reason to think a woman would ever say no to him, especially at that time when he was known to be handsome and tall, and rich, and a prince. And there's no evidence like, I'm gonna whip you now and lock you in a cage. He didn't do any weird shit like that. He didn't that there's no he's not a criminal. He's just now tainted by association with these degenerates, right? Why are you obsessed with him? Okay, he's getting shamed. He lost his title. That should be all that happens to that dude. Shamed and lose your title. But actual criminal rape, these people walk away. Ehud Barak made this plot with Mossad, with Epstein, with the CIA, with Trump. And these people are all in power and praised. They're criminally liable, not just dirtbags. They're criminals. And they're just literally running countries. And some celebrity prince, he's like, I'm so mad about Prince Andrew. Like, think about it. The same people who did this are telling you about it, but telling you only what you need to know, which is some of these people did this, but you don't know which ones, so they're all bad, to hold over their heads to keep them in line. And they're throwing you like somebody who's literally not even a criminal, just a typical rich myopic dude who would literally have no reason to think any woman would say no to him. And every reason to think his rich friend paid for the services and they're excited like he is. That's all, bitch. Hey.